Hello, welcome back. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and welcome back to the series of understanding how all businesses from small to large function. Today we're going to be talking about production and operational management. The way the author presented it, the way most of us look at operational management, we basically in production, we kind of look more to the manufacturing side. Taking that mindset. Let's just take that process from a manufacturing position. You have a conveyor belt, you have inputs, you have outputs, you have costs, you have different customization. And when you're really looking at that, you're looking at how I make a product from beginning to the end, step by step, in manufacturing. And what they're trying to do is since they, either improve the quality of the product or try to reduce the cost by repetition or finding ways that could create the same product with a lower operating expense. Okay, now take that same mindset. So, well, wait a minute. I'm a customer service person. I'm retailing. I'm basically construction. It has nothing to do with any kind of. I'm not making it. I'm not manufacturing. Take the same conceptual idea and you look at it from a service perspective, providing a service or something else other than manufacturing. And you look at that, all companies, we now call it, instead of going on a conveyor belt, a manufacturing belt, we call it processes. So I'm a process improver. How do I improve the process? Same rationale I'm looking at. I got the data, looking at the flow, how everything works. Now I'm trying to improve the process for my organization to provide service, something that's intangible to my customer. I do the same thing, and now we call that process improvement. Take the input, we follow it, how long does it take, how much does it cost, where does it go, what experience the customer or the client has when they're into my process. How come I got several processes that are basically similar? Do I eliminate two and make one and just change some of the work boundaries that they have? And now I'm still providing the same service. Instead of having one person doing a half a day's work, that's all I could do it, and I got another person, similar process, doing a half a day's work. I had two people basically doing 1 day's work. So now I eliminate or transfer, I don't want to hurt anybody, transfer or move that individual to another area of the company where he or she would be more productive towards the organization and at least gives me an 8-hour day's work. In reality, when you really look at statistics, if I get 5 hours out of 8 hours work from an employee, I'm really doing well. And when you look at it, what are you talking about? I talk here, I'm on wait, I wait for the customer. All that is slowing down the process. So if I want someone to call in an input and I call customer service, I call the 1-800 number, the first call to take the name, information, or you have the automation, it gives all that information, and then it'll try to redirect me to the right department. Once I'm in that department, all I'm doing is verifying, yes, this is you, and nothing happened between that transition from when you're on this department or on hold and now you're talking to me, and that's it. I don't have to ask you all those. I have all the information there, and I could resolve the question. I don't want to be in a department telling the rep everything else. Oh, sorry, that's not my department. That goes into finance, or that goes into our production or manufacturing. So this is how you do process improvement, and this chapter talks about manufacturing, but everything you learn in here also works the same way for service type of organization. Okay, my overview. So manufacturing. Now, when you really look at manufacturing, that was on the way out. Manufacturing is on the way out. Manufacturing chart. Whether you like President Trump or not, people go, Dr. George, why are you always bringing it up? He is the President of the United States. Remember, part of business, environmental forces, I cannot control those. I have to be able to minimize or be able to maximize my return from that environment. Remember? a threat or an opportunity. Some people look at it as a threat, others take that threat, turn around, and make an opportunity. That's how you're flexible. That's what you will have to be as a company to survive going forward. Okay? So, but manufacturing, he's bringing back in manufacturing because they found out all manufacturing out of China, very good, worked out well. What happens is that now that link, the logistic link is broken because of COVID-19 or whatever happened, or some kind of earthquake or flooding they have now. So whether COVID-19, their productions are already slowed down for whatever reason because of something they can't control. So now I have all my manufacturing in one area is not good. I have to diversify. What's someplace else I could get a good deal? India, or maybe Vietnam. You know what I mean? I still keep in China, don't get me wrong. I don't try to pull everything out because I already got the relationship with them in the logistics. But instead of giving them 80%, I give them 40%. And I give 20-20. And what happens, the other suppliers, they're all just manufacturing. They're basically looking at it and say, okay, I lost this. I only got 10%, but if they mess up, the main supplier, I can pick it up, and now I could get 40%. So you always, and that's good for business because it keeps the competition. It keeps you competitive, it keeps everyone honest, and it keeps innovation going. Okay? All right, so manufacturing's coming back. You know, the service job, legal, blah. And remember, we are service. You can't be a country and economy just servicing. You have to make something. Otherwise, like now, all I'm doing is a restaurant. The restaurants are closed. What the heck? Or something happens with the food chain and everything else. What am I going to do? I have to adjust. So remember, you don't keep everything. Same thing with manufacturing. Logistics, you try to have manufacturing in different areas depending where your customer is based, so you have the manufacturing close to distribution and works its way out. And if you look at Amazon, they basically mastered that. They've taken stuff that UPS and FedEx, and they've worked with them with their logistics, because remember, FedEx and UPS, they do more than just basically deliver. They also consult and help you set up a logistic program within your company. Remember, what we see with the FedEx, the truck, is just one aspect of business. They have other aspect consulting, and they have other aspects of tailoring what they do best to individual customers. Okay? Remaining global competition, U.S. is still the leader. If anything else, we're the #1 energy producing, according to President Trump. And I'm not trying to be a campaign. I'm just telling this is reality. Look, when you look at something, here's what I want you to just understand in my class, in any class, especially business. They go with the emotion. That's marketing. You know, don't major. The emotion. I don't like the orange man bad. It doesn't make a difference. Orange man bad, whatever. What did he do? Even your worst employee does good things. Credit them for it. Otherwise, you get worse and worse. Credit them. So now I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at that, and I'm looking, okay, so he's bringing in manufacturing, he's doing this. It works out well, all right? So I am not arguing. I am working with him. So he's bringing manufacturing in, whatever reason. Now, and why? Because I want to? As a business? No, because the tariffs on China and other places is cheaper to make it here. And so now I bring it. I'm looking at the dollar. My customers only want to spend so much, so I'm looking at different processes. Now, when I do my logistic process in India and Vietnam, if I don't have any connection, how reliable are they? What kind of logistics do they have? Will they be able to deliver to me on time? I know what happens here. They're already tested, and I've got a track record with them. This I don't, but then I could lower my prices because they're taking a gamble. As they get better, I give them more. Right? I see which one it is, okay? Okay, nobody does it better. Who the heck is this? Germany's economy, you know, we talked about production, you know, production management. They talked about this, production process, inputs, output, and just turn it around and just changes out to service processes or process mapping, okay? Operation management, specialized in areas include, okay, inventory, production, hotels, rent. They know how to process. It comes out, you got so much time to get out, you got to get here by 10 o'clock, they'll get it clean, flip the sheets off to do the quality check, and everything else for the next customer coming in. One thing I found out when I travel, I used to travel a lot. When I go to a hotel, I put stuff in the refrigerator. All the refrigerators are unplugged. There's, you know, the lights on, but no, everything's turned down. Because if they don't have any occupancy in that room, why run that refrigerator? It's costing me money. Every little penny. So someone looked at the process as service. Remember, they're not giving anything tangible. And remember, when you're doing something intangible as staying as a service, You look at that service the last time you were serviced. If you had good service, you think highly of them. If for some reason you went to another hotel, Ritz, Carlton, usually they're pretty good. But let's say you got a bad experience. Then all of a sudden the whole brand has a bad experience. Are they going down? I knew something was going on with them. So you're looking at the whole processes and how to improve that. Okay. Now production, process pick, inputs. We talked about that. Just put in form. What do you do? When I'm looking at form, values to materials, basically logistics is taking stuff and turning them around, different form. I'm taking something, I'm taking coal and turning it into a gasoline, gasified coal. And there's already technology, a little bit expensive to, but they're doing it now, trying it, it costs too much. As the cost of natural, to get stuff out of the oil, out of the ground goes up or whatever, the gasified coal is another way to give environmentally safe gas utilizing coal, utilizing technology. Do I wait? No, I get in there and a little bit. I may not be making money, maybe a little bit, but I want to make sure. So if it catches on, I may want to flip it around and make some money off of that if I'm in the energy industry, okay? Basic production, deliver on time. That's the whole thing. Remember, business is always geared on delivery and meeting the customer's date that we agreed on. If you want something tomorrow, I go on Amazon, they say 2 days. I want tomorrow, $40, we'll have it delivered within 5 hours. Because you're paying the premium if you want it. You want the regular service 2 days. And a lot of people look at that, okay? Process and assembly, okay? Process management, assembly, just talks about that. Key production processors, a continuous process, intermediate process, a continuous, a lot of times, the assembly line. You try to keep the line going. Because of technology, manufacturing, look, if you order something, if you go to the store, you buy the computer, what it had. If I order from Dell or Dell or HPC, Dell or Hewlett Packard, when I'm looking at ordering from them in the store, I have no choice. I order online. They say, I want this kind of hard drive. I want this. I don't want this. I want this kind of a graphic thing. I want this type of mind. When it goes on a continuous process, the computer automatically, just for you, they don't have to stop it just to run, okay, we got to make all this batches that needs the 1 gigabyte or whatever RAM. Now it doesn't make a difference. It just does it for you. Same thing when I call it. I try to adjust. I go to the hair thing. They don't have one haircut. I like a little bit here, and that's you change it. Other ones is short runs. Sometimes you do a short run to meet the customer's demand. The short runs, I got to set up, reset up. It's going to cost you. And when I look at short runs, customer wants to do something outside my normal operating, they pay overtime. I got to pay overtime. They pay overtime or premium cost. Okay. What makes customers, computer aid, CAB, flexible manufacturing, lean manufacturing, mass customization makes money. People don't like mass. They like the individuality. We're individuals. I'm not just a group. So manufacturing and technology allows me to do that, to customize it without coming into intermediate processes, because then I got to set up and reset up. That costs me. If I could do something in between the regular processes, that saves me money. That's when you're looking at financial management. They're the ones that look at processes. They may be accountants but have an engineering background, or they have a process improvement background, or a computer program. How do I do something, use technology to make the process better? It makes it better, faster. It reduces the cost. Even if it's a half of a cent of a cent of a cent, it basically, if I'm doing millions of them, I'm saving money. And saving money, my costs are the same, but now I'm reducing my expenses, so I have a bigger profit to either retain the earnings or go for it. Okay. What else do we have? Facility layout. How do you lay out your facility? Same thing with processes and services. Everyone wants the window. No. You get the call here, here's the engineering, here's billing. It should be in one area where everyone hears what's going on, so it doesn't delay. I got to go to the other office. Hey, George, what's the cost on this? Because you have your teams that are developed for the process. When you're in a corporate, remember we did geographic a couple a while back. We did geographic. What do you call it? By departments, by functionality, or you could do by processes. If I have a process, new construction, I have everyone deal with that so it's underneath one umbrella and it's controllable and I can maintain the flow and everything else. Now the facility, when you look at facility, when you go to Walmart, you got the security cameras all over. I go, oh geez, okay, they got those cameras do one thing, to protect and give you that thing that you're being watched. The second thing that camera does, it gives me free information. When I come in, you got consultants come in and see how people come in and they see how they flow. Remember the manufacturer, look how the assembly line, I can move this here, here. If those of you who ever work fast food, you know you got everything outside here. Somebody wants mayonnaise, okay, it's way out here because that's not the normal, that's an outliner. I bring it in, but everything I knew so I could get those hamburgers quickly done. So when you come into Walmart, they're already watching you. Someone's saying, here's the flow. People come in here to stop and they don't look at anything, they just go, because you're being monitored. Most people go here, here, and now where do I put the ads on? How do I adjust it? Where do most people go? They go to the pharmacy. Let's keep that in the middle. If they come in the middle, they have to go to the things where they want real quickly, the junk food, the everyday replaceable item, and then you go all the way in the back. You have what? You have bedding, stuff that you only need once in a while. And you see how the store's all laid out. And they looking, and they have to change it. When they change it, it's a big change. They made bigger aisles. Why did they do bigger aisles? Walmart with bigger aisles. They found out if you had bigger aisles, people stay a little bit longer and they shop longer. If the aisles are small and I see a person with kids or people just hanging on, I'll go around the aisle. I may miss something. If I'm in a bigger aisle, but now the aisle I made bigger, I lost space because every square foot is $1 amount. I made bigger aisle, so that has to be justified, and I had to justify by that. Okay, so you have that information. Same thing when you go on the website, they track you to see which way you go, to the right, how many people go, and they set up their website so it's intuitive to what you're doing, and it helps you out. If you look at process, Amazon, I bought something, people similar to buying this item also bought this as a reminder, trickery. You see how you tie what customers are doing, how they shop, what they want, what other customers are doing, the data, and now technology allows me to customize it specifically for you. And I'm not a manufacturer, I'm a service provider. Okay, inventory control, just in time. Remember, for you to keep inventory, it could get stolen, it could get lost, it could be deleted, outdated. So you want inventory just in time. To have just in time inventory, I want to be close to a manufacturer or at least a distributor, a warehouse. And that's how you sell. So when you look into the process, when I'm buying, I'm looking, here's a manufacturer, boom, 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 in this country, here's how many warehouses. So I don't have that, I just had the warehouse. Now if you look at the layout, if you look at Best Buy, if you notice the Best Buy stores are smaller, their footprints are smaller, less cost, everything else, but they have a distribution where if you buy something, unless you're buying something right on the display, they don't have anything inventory in there. Just what's on display, we'll ship it to you tomorrow, we'll ship it to you in 2 days. We're here in your area, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're very flexible. We'll work with you. They saved money by having inventory in one place. If this store sells more red, and this store sells more white, and this store sells more orange appliances, I have it here. I don't have one store that has too many and not enough. It eliminates this. It eliminates my shelf space. Because remember, I have to have all the inventory. Now I have more space in the stores to get what I want. Customer, give them a little more room and keep the inventory, and I can control the inventory, I can deliver it, I have different people, I have different mechanism on there, and I can watch it, and I can have just-in-time inventory because the manufacturer, if he or she, the manufacturer, supplying just-in-time inventory, it's going to cost me more. Otherwise, I could buy it lower. You go to Sam's, you buy all this stuff, or Costco, and you keep it because you're buying by bulk. But if you buy too much stuff, you can throw it away because it gets old. So you have to look at it. Just buying too much inventory is good or not good. It depends on how much you're moving or sell through. And later on, when you take me for accounting, not accounting, finance, we go into that. All right? So we have that, control procedures. These are basically, here, make sure you know what Sigma 6 is. It's just basically quality control. So most companies, as they go through, they can't check everything, but they'll take a batch. They'll look here. Same thing when you look at the road. They'll take you see the cement sample. They pour it in there, and here, take this, and it's just test it. That's good. If not, then you replace the whole thing. All right. So Sigma 6 is basically from Motorola, for lack of a better word, and they they have a process that checks the quality. Okay. Look, if there's something wrong with peanut butter, they don't have to do this. Look, here's a lot number, it's here, and if you look at ISO 9000, it's basically another quality control. It's a procedure that if something goes wrong, I can identify exactly where the issue is. The problem is when you're looking at brands, and we talk, if the brand gets tarnished, you know, I'm a Walmart or something else, I'm a Taco Bell, and if something happens to Taco Bell that somebody says, oh, the meat is tainted, or it had some kind of droppings or something down there, it could be just isolated to one store, but the whole brand suffers. It happened here, it must have happened someplace else, because they don't have quality control watching the store. From a customer's mind, remember, those seeds are planted. You want to eliminate those negative thoughts and put positive thoughts back. Okay. Okay, how to be effective manager, focus on customers, maintain close relationships. ISO 9000, a lot of companies, especially, I don't want to say international, don't global, because we're not doing global. We make arrangements with countries and things that make sense for us. So countries are making trade agreements with countries that they think they could, there's a mutual agreement. You make something, I make something. I either buy the product from you, you buy something from, it's a two-way street. And I get a good deal on that, okay? So this way is continuous improvement, and then ISO 14,000, basically environmental, focus on cost, okay? So I have everything on here, and I think I covered everything. I know I covered everything. And remember, you have a lot of the information. You have my concept maps. You have the publisher's PowerPoints. You have these videos for every chapter. This review, I have more in-depth chapters. Just go YouTube, Dr. George, and see my hour, 2 hours one. This is just a quick overview within 20 minutes. Okay, so let's see, expand, level 1. Okay, so we have everything. So this is the last thing you see in this thing, fit map. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see how many minutes I had. Ooh, where the heck? Something that did all this, I haven't recorded. 21 minutes. We're done. Have a nice day. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one. We'll be talking about motivation, which is a good one, and HR. I teach a class in those also. All right?